As the level of the water moves higher or lower, the aspect of the shoreline changes. The sky, the angle of the light, the stillness of the water, it's different every time. I might make a similar image to this someday, but it'll never be repeated just like it looks here. This image has been featured on calendars and elsewhere, but few get the opportunity to see it like this in person, and it will, I think, never be recreated exactly. This is a 17 by 20 print, fine art framed and matted for $545. The Aurora Borealis. The Tahoe region had a chance to experience a rare aurora event in May 10th, 2024. My friends talked me into coming out to photograph it. I didn't think anything was going to happen. But then they wound up giving up hope and they went home. And shortly thereafter, the show really started. The lights around Crystal Bay grew long on the still water after the sunset, and the moon approached the horizon. There were planes and there were satellites, but nothing outdid the aurora. This is a 16 by 20 fine art framed and matted for $455. The Painted Lady on Canvas. When I was a boy, I read a book that described the Ray Lakes Basin as the most beautiful lakes in the Sierra. Since that time, I've camped there several nights over a 50-year period, and it's still enchanting to me. And at the head of the basin is the Painted Lady. This is a canvas gallery wrap, 20 inches by 30 inches for $675. Emerald Bay Sunset. I was going to head up the other side of the lake, up the east side for sunset, but I wanted to check if a particular road was open on the west shore, so I changed my plans. Glad that I did. The best action was from the west shore looking to the east. It was not easy getting to this spot, though. I was post-holing in the snow up past my knees. The snow was deep and I was crossing above a cliff. It was worth it. This is a barnwood framed print. Real barnwood, not just pretend. 24 inches by 36 inches for $845. Eagle Falls in monochrome. When I was younger, I worked very hard to get all of the waterfall in the image. And the bigger the waterfall, the better. That's what I thought. Now I look for details and patterns, stories within the waterfall, patterns within the waterfall. To get this one, I was wedged into an icy spot. It was winter time. I was balancing my tripod just so, trying not to slip. It was getting dark, and I was hoping the fading light would hold out for just one more minute. And this is what I got. This is framed in barnwood, real barnwood, not wood pretending to look like barnwood. Framed in barnwood, 20 inches by 30 inches for $745. Morning mist. Morning mist in the mountains, making a mood of mystery. Yes, this is a monochrome image. Framed in barnwood, 20 inches by 20 inches for $745. The Lake Tahoe waterscape. This is perhaps my most popular image. Printed in books and magazines. It's been on calendars. You can't recreate it now because that tree has died. Still, it shows you a lot of what we like to see at Lake Tahoe. The crystal clear water, the blue skies, the rocks, the snow, the mountains. This is framed in barnwood, 20 by 30 for $745. Lake Tahoe waterscape. Clarity. You know, I was actually hoping for one of those flaming sunsets that night. What I got, though, was different, but even better. The clarity of the water made for an interesting effect in that it is hard to tell what's a feature on the bottom of the lake and what is a reflection. of a feature in the sky that's just reflected on the lake. The end result is that an image that is much nicer to hang on the wall than a simple fiery sunset that tend to look a little bit the same. This is a barnwood framed print, 24 inches by 36 inches for $8.45. Spirit of the lake. Is it an angel? Is it a dragon? Is it a phoenix? It's up to you. I think that it is the spirit of the dragon that keeps curled around Crystal Bay, head to the left, tail to the right, and I was standing on the summit, on its back. This is a barnwood framed fine art print, 24 inches by 36 inches for $8.45. December morning. There was a break in the storm, or perhaps it was between one storm leaving and another one coming in. This beach, which is so popular in the summertime, was completely empty. The roots of this tree, which has been climbed on by generations of happy children, were covered in powdered snow. The lowest branch of the tree seems to reach out to a distant friend, the tree across the water. The tree I call the Harry Potter tree because of the lightning scar down the far side. This is a barnwood framed print, 24 inches by 36 for $8.45. Thunderclouds, Lake Tahoe. A dynamic cloud formation towers above the tranquil lake, creating a stark contrast against the sky in a monochrome palette. The dramatic play of light and shadow on the water's surface and the surrounding landscape adds depth to the scene. Ansel Adams made a famous image at this location in 1938, titled Thundercloud, Lake Tahoe. Since that day, many others have stalked here, myself included. This is a metal print, 16 inches by 24 inches for $4.25. Sugar Pine Sunset. It was 5 o'clock on a January afternoon. The sun was going down, and I should have been heading up to the car. You don't really want to be trudging uphill through deep snow in the dark. Not a good idea. But I wanted to get a close-up of one of those giant sugar pine cones that everybody loves so much. I shuffled forwards and backwards, uphill and down, to get everything just right. I think I tripped over a bush at one point. Anyways, I'm glad I stayed. This is a barnwood framed print, 24 inches by 36 inches for $8.45. Thunderbird View. Looking south past Mark Twain's old timber claim to the Thunderbird Lodge. Take a tour of the lodge if you ever get a chance. It is worth it. I love to explore this area, always a new angle to find, a new perspective to discover. With the lake much higher this year, I'm recording this in 2025, many of my favorite spots are underwater, forcing me to find new favorites. This is a barnwood framed print, 24 by 36 for $8.45. Mount Tallac Alpenglow. This is not your average alpenglow. The sunlight was skimming just over the ridge to the right, illuminating the clouds. The glow from the clouds then lit up the snowy mountain. It was even more magical seeing it in person, if you can believe it. This is a panorama, 12 inches by 36 inches, framed in black for $4.75. Granite stillness in blue. Clear turquoise waters reveal smooth, submerged rocks near a calm lake shore, surrounded by distant snow-capped mountains. Pine trees dot the landscape, and the sky is a brilliant shade of blue. An inversion layer of clouds covered Lake Tahoe over that night, and I was there to watch the fog burn off in the morning. This is a 16 by 20 inch crystal acrylic print for $4.25. Morning mist. Morning mist in the mountains, making a mood of mystery. Yes, this is a monochrome image. Framed in barnwood, 20 inches by 20 inches for $7.45. Alpine autumn. Everyone talks about New England when they think about autumn, but the gold in the west is really also quite nice. It contrasts wonderfully with the deep blue sky, and in this case, the deep blue water as well. This is a panorama with a 1:3 ratio, 12 inches vertical, 36 inches horizontal, framed in black for $4.75. Country roads. So many of these old roads are found climbing up out of the desert into the High Sierra. Why were they made? Mining, logging, grazing of sheep, or something else? Did the old timers ever just stop and stare and look at where they are? This is a 16 by 24 fine art framed in black for $6.45. Granite Garden. On the eastern shore of Lake Tahoe, the morning sun comes in fits and starts, peeking between the rocks and trees high up on the mountain. The rocks are hit by spots of light and hidden by clusters of shadow. This gives a wonderful diversity of illumination and endless interest. 16 by 32 fine art framed in black for $6.95. Clouds over Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe is almost implied in this image. You really can't see it. We barely see it at all, yet we feel the presence of the lake like a pressure. The weight of the cloud is almost oppressive, and the mood is dramatic. Barnwood fine art framed print, 24 by 36 for $8.45.